morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to the 10 o'clock hour. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. This is LoveBabz, Love Talk on 103.5 FM WNHHLP. Woo! You know, we are not downtown anymore. We are respectively doing the COVID thing. So we're doing all our shows on Zoom, and it's been quite successful. I've enjoyed them immensely. Hey, Harry, we're back for our second hour of LoveBabz, Love Talk. So I'm delighted, Harry, to bring on Ann-Gella Holloway. Not only she's my friend, and we go to the same salon. She is a business owner, a writer, a poet, a speaker, and actress. She is the author of the new book, Let Me Tell You What I Know. She also hosts a podcast entitled Chit Chat. It's more than just talk. Ann-Gella holds a bachelor's degree in business management, and she is the mom to Andre and Alexander, and makes her home in Hamden, Connecticut. Welcome, girl. You gotta get off, get your.
I'm muted.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Babz.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love the cover of this book. I love the title of this book.
Thank you so much. You know, I struggled with the title a little bit there.
I love it. So, all right. So tell me about this book, girl. What is it about?
It's about what I know. It's about life lessons, things I've learned over the years that I want to share with folks because I think it's helpful and hopefully it'll be helpful to other people.
Yeah. And so how long have you been toying with this idea? Like, did you wake up one day and it's like, today's the day? When was that day?
Oh my gosh, Babz, I remember being in a salon with you talking about my book, probably 3 years ago at least, if not 4. I think I started writing it in a notebook, probably 2015.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah. Notebook, Post-it notes as I'm walking around and I get inspiration. I grab a Post-it note at work and write something down and say, that should go in the book. And I don't know how much of that stuff actually made it in the book, but that's how I was writing for a few years, taking notes.
That's good. That's good. So how long is the book? And then start talking to me. Do you have a copy in front of you? Hold it up.
I do. I have a copy in front of me. And so the book is about 119 pages.
So this is a good, easy read. It's not, yes. It's not War and Peace.
Right. No. No, not at all. And at the end of each chapter, I have some questions for reflection and places where you can write, kind of journal if you want. If something really speaks to you. So that's how I crafted the book.
Okay. All right. So I want you to talk to me about why this book? Like, why now? Why this book?
Why now? Why this book? I just feel like, so honestly, I was writing it bits and pieces here and there. And I actually went to a women's conference, and one of the ladies that was speaking there, she called me out in the audience and she said, God says this book needs to be written in this season. And when she said that, I got scared because I'm like, wait, am I about to die? Is this a warning? Like, do it now before time is up. And so that was the kick in the pants that I needed to like go home and finish writing, take all those notebook pages, all those Post-it notes, and actually get on a computer and put it into a book. So I felt like I had to do it, and I got it done.
Yay. All right, so what's the first chapter?
So the first chapter it's called Grace for the Moment. And it's this idea.
I love that. Grace is one of my favorite words.
Is it really?
Yes, it's one of my favorite. Grace is one of my favorite words. I always use it in my everyday language. You know, I'm always looking for grace. I'm always telling people to stand in their grace. Because me, grace is code for blessings, right? Like,
yes,
that's how I see it. It's always another word for blessing. It's the same word, but I just like grace.
I agree. And so grace for the moment, or even blessings for the moment, because it's definitely interchangeable. When you get to a situation that you can't imagine being in, if and when you get there, because, you know, a lot of the things we fear never even come to pass. But right. If and when you get there, there's this grace for the moment that will be there. So I use an example of getting divorced. I thought that being married, having your spouse cheat on you, and getting divorced was the worst thing ever. I'm not saying
it probably was in the moment. Right?
Like it wasn't a walk in the park.
It was awful, right? Like, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it hurt, it sucked, but I'm still here, right? So I survived it. So even though it was a worse fear, it didn't take me out.
It didn't kill you.
And there was there was grace for the moment when I needed it. When I was crying and laying across the bed and didn't want to get up, there was that grace that comforted me, that grace that allowed me to eventually get up and get dressed. So even though it was one of my worst fears, it didn't take me out. What I needed at that moment showed up.
Oh, I love that. I think that'll be very helpful for a lot of people because some people think that the end, the end of things is the end of everything, and it's not. Actually, the end of things is never really the end of things. It's the end of that thing, but it really is a catalyst for other things to open. At least that's has been my experience in my own life. So that
Oh
can be
yeah,
very helpful to people, you know. And so how long
absolutely.
did it take you to come to that realization?
Of grace for the moment.
Yes.
I would say, so for me, so much of my life happened like once I turned 40, that was just a pivotal moment. It was that line of demarcation between then and now. So it's like when I was turning 40, I got so excited, and people, of course, were like, "You're excited about getting older?" But I just felt like I was grown now, or I went through all of that, so now I can enjoy all of this. And so I would say, and I got divorced actually, I was like 32, but
50 is very fabulous. Wait till you get there.
I'm looking forward to it. So all of the lessons just sounded like it all made sense, I will say, in the last few years. It all began to make sense that life isn't as bad as we make it. And I've been through some stuff. So this is not to be unsympathetic, unempathetic to like, oh, it's not that bad. Some stuff is bad, but you can get through it and you can survive it. And there's people to help you, right? There's God, there's people, there's friends, and there's also that lesson that we can learn from it. Someone said to me the other day, I don't believe everything happens for a reason. And I kind of agree with that. I don't think like if someone's child passes away, there was a reason for that. But there's certainly a lesson that you may be able to learn from that. There's blessings you can count from that. You don't have to take it all as a loss, take the L. I don't know if there's some great reason because sometimes people just do crazy things, but what can we learn from that? Once the dust settles and we're still around, what can I learn from this? And how can it make me better in any kind of way?
Okay. So what's the fourth chapter in the book?
All right, so fourth chapter.
I'm just gonna jump all around and ask
I
different things.
see. Okay. Hold off on your judgment. So,
Whoa! All right.
what that chapter entails is a lot of the things that we think are good or bad, and it kind of goes with the first chapter. Something happens, like you lose a job, you get fired or laid off, and you think this is it. Life is over. I lost my job. Hold off because that might actually be the blessing you never expected. Even in pandemic, people have discovered new love. They've moved to a new city. They discovered a new business or started a new career that otherwise they would not have because this thing happened. So I just say, don't break down and have a tantrum just because something happens. It may actually end up being very good. And of course, the flip side, something that looks so good, looks good, walks good, talks good.
Gold.
Right? It could be death on a stick. So don't, yeah, I got the corner office and yeah, I got this job, and you work in that job and it drives you crazy.
So you about to jump out of the corner office window.
Right? Exactly. So just hold off on a thing. Everything good, just let it play out. Everything bad, it may not be so bad. Let it play out. With people too. I even say with some friendships, if I meet somebody right away and we click, I get a little scared now because I've learned some of the best friends that I have, I'll say rub shoulders, but we bumped heads at first, or it wasn't like an instant connection. It had to build over time. So even that person that you're like, oh, they're this or they're that, could end up being your very best friend.
Yes.
And the one that's in your face.
How many chapters in the book, Angela?
Altogether, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, 10 chapters.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice round, even number.
Yes.
That's a nice round. Okay. So what's in chapter 7?
Chapter 7 is count your blessings. Oh wait, sorry. Find the lesson in everything.
Oh, what does that mean?
So let me just go to it so I can pull up what I use as an example because I don't remember. All right, I shared my experience with online dating and how
I remember having conversations with you about online dating.
And although I haven't met my husband yet, I have met some great guys. I have some guys that we decided to be friends. One that lives like 4 streets away from me that I never would have met if it wasn't for online dating. So even if I didn't meet the Prince Charming, if you will, still met some great guys. And even the ones that weren't so great, it helped to narrow down what it is that I am looking for and what it is that I do need in a partner. So even if it didn't end up the way I thought it should, it still ended up quite well. So there's always a lesson in it.
When you were dating, did you find yourself just like, because when I jumped back out into the dating pool for the first time a while back, I just wanted to have a good time. I just want to be like, I was just trying to like, oh, when I was in my early 30s and my 20s, dating was fun. At least in my revisionist mind, it was fun. I don't know if it was fun or not, but at this age, I'm thinking, well, I must have had a good time. I was doing a lot of it. So I was thinking maybe when I jump back out, it would be fun, but I found it to be very hard. So talk a little bit about that experience, because dating now is different than when you were 20 and you're a mom, so you have kids, so you have a whole other host of things to consider.
Yes. So unlike dating, I have so many stories. I do. Not that I met a whole lot of people, but I got a lot of stories. But unlike dating, so I'm 43 and I tend to lean towards older men. So I was finding guys in their late 40s and 50s who have just come out of 20-year marriages who were like college kids again, because they were back to sowing their wild oats, right? So they weren't really looking to settle. They're like, I've been married 20 years. I'm free from those chains. And they were really like, just really trying to have fun. And I was more on the path to marriage. So that was interesting. I also wanted to, yes, have fun, get dressed up, be in the company of men and see what happens. But it got to be where a date or two in, it would be like, hey, Netflix and chill, if you will. Do you want to come sit at my house and have
and that's code for spend the night. Hanky panky.
Exactly.
People say hanky panky. Netflix and chill is code for casual sex.
Yeah, and that's it, casual, because nobody at this point, they didn't really want to be in a relationship, but they wanted, I would say,
they want all the
relationship
benefits of a relationship without the commitment of a relationship. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So so what did you learn from that? Like, what was the what were the big lessons, and what were some of the smaller lessons?
So some of the big lessons were, so there was a time, so my ex-husband was a minister, right? And so there was a time when I said, although I'm a Christian, I don't want to date a Christian, right? I don't need, or he doesn't have to be a Christian, because I've done all that. And so with dating and dating people of different faiths or no faiths, I realized at the end of the day, I do want our core spiritual values to align. So I learned that by testing the waters otherwise. I learned that.
Yeah, because what you didn't want was your husband in another fashion.
Yes.
But you wanted somebody that had a God focus or God center. Okay. Because that showed up to be important.
Yes, right. It did. And I didn't think it would be, but it was important. So I learned that through those experiences. Some of the smaller things I learned, honestly, I think I learned I'm probably not in as much of a rush to get married as I thought I was. I think.
Oh, I'd like to come to that realization, because I've had that same experience too. Because I think divorce, you feel like a failure. And at least for me, I felt like a failure. And I wanted to prove that I could be successful at that. And it's weird. It's crazy now that I look back at that crazy time. Like, what the hell was I thinking? I would have been on my way to divorce number 2. But but you don't see that, because hurt is like a fog. You know what I mean? So all right. So what did that feel like to come to that awareness?
It felt great and it felt freeing. As you said, there's like pressure to like do it again. Like I'm not a failure, so let me show you. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I think women, I've heard a lot of things about single, bitter, can't keep a man. Like I hear all that. I don't know if I take it in, but I hear all that. So I think there was definitely a part of me. It's like, well, you're not gonna call me single and bitter and can't keep a man. I can get a man. Let me show you. And then, begin to date, you realize it is a lot of work. And if you're used to kind of doing your own thing for a while, like, wait, I really have to be considerate of this other person. and really merge our lives together. Maybe I'm not ready to do that just yet.
Yes.
And if first marriages in, I think 50% into divorce, 75% of second marriages into divorce. So those statistics scare me enough, or have put enough caution, enough pause in this thing, that I'm not rushing, because I don't want to be on that side of it as well.
And so do you think that sort of challenged you to think about what you thought you wanted in a partner versus what you actually need in a partner?
Definitely. Yeah, it challenged me to think about it. I'm not sure if I have it all figured out yet, but it challenged me. One thing I know, like a girlfriend and I, we talk a lot and say, if you want a man with money, he's probably not going to have time. If you want a man with a whole lot of time, he may not have money. So there's always, there's always that compromise, especially at our age. We're not talking about retired guys. So we're talking about guys in 30s and 40s that are still hustling and building their business. So that means he has zero time. But he's got money, but he doesn't have time. Guys that, maybe work the 9 to 5 and can be with you all day don't have money because they're just working a job. So, that balance and that compromise is something that we have to realize as well.
Wow. And this is chapter 8. What was chapter 8?
This is 7.
7. Okay. So what is chapter 9? Because I want people to just go get the book. They want all the other chapters.
Yes. Chapter 9 is Everything Comes Full Circle.
I love that too.
Thank you.
So what does that mean? Tell me what that means. And when did you know it?
That means, so an example of that is a story. So when I was 13, my hair fell out. I don't know why. I'm combing it and it's shedding. And that was hard, because walking around with your hair, this part was bald, this part was long, it was crazy. Embarrassing, tough time when I was 13. And my hair grows back in and out throughout the years. So fast forward to, I think, around 2009, I'm working in a high school, and the assistant principal comes to me and she says, I want to talk to you, Miss Diva. And I'm like, sure. So she brings me to her office, and in her office is a young woman. She's crying, and the young woman is wearing a bandana. Now, you can't wear headgear in school, but she's wearing the headgear because her hair is falling out and she doesn't want to walk around like that. And so the assistant principal comes to me and asks me, do I have a wig for her? I said, absolutely, I will bring her a wig. So the next day, I brought her 2 wigs, the brush, some wig spray, the heads. I hooked the sister up. So when I gave it to her, she starts crying and she's like, thank you, miss. Thank you, miss. You have no idea how much this helped me. Yes, I do know, because I was you, 20 something years ago. So that was the meaning behind Everything Comes Full Circle.
Wow.
Even the present sufferings, at some point it will make sense. Just keep going. Just keep living. I've had times of depression. I have times of suicide. And I'm so glad for me that I kept going, because the things that I thought would never be rectified or never be resolved have been. And some are still in progress, but it's like, I see it. I see it. When they say hold on and you don't feel like holding on, I see the benefit and the result of holding on. So that was one of those examples of me. And I don't know why to this day the assistant principal came to me, because at the time I don't think I was even wearing wigs, but she came to me. I was like,
you came all that hair.
Like, you came to the right one. I know exactly what to do for her. I know exactly how it feels, because I was her.
Wow. So what did that feel like so when did you know immediately that it was a full circle moment? Did you know immediately that, like here's my opportunity to sort of give what wasn't given to me in those moments?
Yes. At that moment, it felt, I think at that moment, after I left the office, I think I myself went to the restroom and cried, because I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't have been able to do this if I had not gone through it myself. I get it. So it really definitely felt like a full circle moment.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you got this book done. You worked on it. You wrote in your notebook. You had post-its. So how's it being received by people? How are your friends and family taking it? Are they loving it?
Wow.
Are they celebrating it? Are they proud? I know they're proud.
They are. Everybody is just so, So every now and again, I deal with some insecurity, is it good enough? Am I good enough? Do people blah, blah, blah. And I worked through that. But I announced that I was going to sell the book. I announced the upcoming pre-sale date, and I sold like all these copies before the actual pre-sale date. And so now that I've reached the pre-sale date, I had to order more. Once it became available through Amazon, I had to put a second order in because I had more orders, and I still hope I have enough when these books actually come in. So the support and love has been overwhelming. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like, Sally, what Sally feels. They love me. They really love me.
So does this mean now that you get to work on the second book? Like, do you think like, you know what, I have more to say? I know more stuff.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Actually, it's funny because I actually have a book. This will be the second book that was on Notebook. The first book that I've been working on, I have momentum to go ahead and finish that. Now that one's a novel. It's a love story.
I love a good love story.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
I love a good love story.
it's a good
Well, I'm
love
excited
story.
about that.
Takes place in Connecticut because that's what I know, and so I have momentum to actually go ahead and finish that one now.
So tell me, what does this mean to sort of to tick this off your um list of well, I don't want to say bucket list, but one of these things that you're not sure if you ever will do, but it's up there, things you want to do. What is that like to tick that off?
So it definitely feels good, something I've accomplished. It's like I've done this. I can say I'm an author, right? And I've done it, and I put it from notebook to book and have it published, and it feels great. It feels great. It's definitely a boost for me, not only for the next book, for like other things in life. I think I clean the house better now. I think I like talk to my kid nicer now because I just, I'm riding this wave of positive energy of I got stuff done. Yes. So.
And do you find that there's some commonality with the message that you're sharing in the book with women that you know and that you meet?
Oh yes, absolutely. I am a certified life coach. I did that this past year, but people come to me often for advice. I'm a keeper of secrets. I know how to keep my mouth shut. And people gravitate towards me to look for advice and things like that. And so I'm glad to help. I don't know it all, right? I say that in the book. I'm not a know-it-all, trust me. But what I do know, I'm willing to share. So I find that yes, a lot of the women around me could benefit from a lot of these things.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And you're like a in the middle age range. So, younger women can relate, and women just a bit older than you can relate. I tell you, when you get to 50, it becomes a whole different kind of ball game. So
I'm looking forward to it.
you should. You absolutely should. I love being almost 60. So
Wow.
it's an amazing sort of thing. So how does this shape how you move in the world now?
In terms of just the book or just being Ann-Gella?
And being Ann-Gella, because I think this book changes you on some levels, right? Like, you start to see, it's like you're writing down all the things that you've learned over this period of time, and you get to revisit these things. And so it has got to add to your spirit on some level.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. And also, so I share some not deeply, well, I do share deeply personal. It's not like deeply explicit as far as the book. So if anybody wants to buy the book for a middle school or a teenager, it's okay. But even with my dating experience, I don't go deep like that. But I do share like getting divorced, or I share some personal stuff. So I'm like, oh, the book is out there and all these people are going to know these things about me. So that's kind of, but I just, you can't live safe. People that live safe rarely are known or really make a difference. So,
That is true.
and that's, I think that's good that the next book is a novel, because that's just a fictional story, fictional characters, and I can do whatever. So maybe I need to balance it out, nonfiction and fiction, and keep balancing out like that. Because this one is like about me and things that I've learned. So I'm like, oh, once people get their books in the hands, they know a lot about me.
Yeah. So what are you reading, and who are your personal literary favorites, Angela?
So personal favorites. I love anything in like the inspirational self-help genre. I'm reading a book, and actually it's called The Power of Three. It's a small, it's not a small book, but a local, she's not local. What am I saying? She's from Atlanta. She's a woman, actually bought waist beads from her. And she
Okay.
does a lot of womb healing classes with women and things like that. And so I was in her class and I actually won this book. And I was like, I know that book is just for me. And sure enough, when it arrived in the mail, I'm like, this is for me. It just talks about like living out loud and allowing, surrendering and letting things happen and trusting God and all those great things. So that's the book I'm reading now. It's called The Power of Three, and
Yeah.
it's deeply inspirational.
Oh, good, 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 good. And so, I mean, I don't know about you, but I tend to surround myself with a lot of inspirational things. My grandmother would say that's like staying prayed up, right? You keep
Yes,
those
yes,
kinds of good forces around you, because the world can be challenging and difficult, and you need reinforcements. And so, having those inspirational and aspirational books at hand are like lifelines. At least I think.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so true. There was a time I didn't do a lot of reading because when I was writing the book, when I first started, I was like, I'm not reading anyone's stuff till I finish because I don't want to be influenced by anyone else. That's actually wrong. I encourage anyone that's writing to also be reading. It actually helps to see what's out there, to structure a book. Even if you say, oh, I can do that. They did it. I can do it too. So it's definitely very helpful to be a reader as well as a writer. But there was a time when I didn't read anybody else's stuff, but that was wrong.
So let's spend a few minutes talking about the business of books, because you obviously want to sell this book.
Yes.
It's not just vanity to write a book anymore, right? People put books out there, they self-publish them, they get publishers, and they need this book to make some money. Talk a little bit about what you've learned in the journey of publishing as a business.
So publishing as a business. So generally, so I would say sales of the book. I mean, unless I was Barack Obama, sales of the book probably will equal what I pay to publish it, right? I probably won't make profit off of that, but that's okay because the book could be so much more. But it's a book is as far as a business. You talk about residual income. This book is forever printed and can forever sell 10 years from now. So if somebody's thinking about the business of a book, that there you go. And it's one of those things where you write once and sell it 100 times. So it's definitely can multiply itself. The
That's a
law.
good message. That's a good because you are entrepreneurial in your everyday practical life.
Yes.
You coach people, and you think along those lines. So that makes sense. So what would you say to people who are interested in doing what you did?
Oh, I would definitely say do it. I would definitely say do it. I would say just write. Even when I started to write, I sat down at the computer to actually write. I just wrote. And that's actually where the title came from because I'm like wrestling with what do I know? And I had to put the first line as this book is about what I know. It's not about what I don't know. When I learn more, I'll write more. And that was just the hurdle I needed to get over to say, I'm only writing what I know. I'm not a know it all. I don't have all the answers to life's problems, but what I do know, let me write about. And so, write, I tell anyone that's interested, just keep writing. Don't worry about the order, the format, all that happens later during edit. And so, just write, just start putting the words out there and just keep going. If you do it at whatever schedule, I think for me, I did like an hour a day. And sometimes it would turn to two because once you get going, it's just the flow. So I come home from work and I write. So I encourage anyone to start and just keep writing.
So tell people how they can reach you, because I know you have a website, and
Yes.
I know you're on social media, because we're Instagram friends and
Yes.
Facebook friends.
Yeah, so they can find me on Facebook with Ann-Gella Holloway, and I'm Angela with two N's and a dash. So if you put
Yes.
in two N's and a dash, I'm going to show up. That's just me. My unique name is its own brand. And my website is also angelaholloway.com. So it's Angela with two N's and a dash. And Instagram, which I'm on as well, I'm Lovely Angie, and that's Angie with two N's.
Yes. Yes. So what's next? What are you up to next? Like, what's next on the list of things that you'd like to do?
I would love to do some coaching around the book. So maybe taking each chapter, making it a class, and do some group life coaching. That would be something I would like to do. I'm not too big on the whole virtual. I think it's by now it's like I'm kind of expired from it. So hopefully I can do some things if and when the world opens back up. I would love to get together with a group of women and do some group coaching. So I'll take this time now to kind of plan and organize and put some things together, but hopefully I can go live with that when we can actually gather together in person.
So, is there do you think this is a book that men would enjoy reading? And would you suggest men read this book?
So I have some quite a few men, some of my work brothers who were like, I'm gonna buy the book, and I know they're buying it because they gotta support their girl Angie. I don't know. It doesn't. So it's definitely not a male bashing book. I want to say that. Even my experiences with dating, I love men. I'm a mother of sons. I respect men. I don't look at exes as if they're less than just because we're not together. I love and respect men. So there's no male bashing, definitely. I believe that men could. It's a short book, like I said, 119 pages. So if someone wanted to read a chapter really quick on a lunch break or whatever, they certainly could. You don't have to commit your life to the whole book. So I would say so. I've had some men support me. I don't know if they bought it for their wives or their daughters, but
For their so people could have bought this for Christmas and given it to their daughters, young daughters or older daughters or
oh
wives or
yeah,
sisters or girlfriends or
oh yes, they still
I,
can if you're like me and you're a late shopper. Because I think I bought one gift thus far. I do that Christmas Eve rush every year. I don't know what it is about shopping on Christmas Eve. That's just great. But yeah, so you still can. The book it just actually just went live on Amazon, so it's there.
yeah, and so are people writing reviews? Has anybody left reviews yet?
No one's received it yet because it just went live on
Oh,
Amazon.
it just went live. Okay, because I,
Yeah,
I
so
I saw you I saw you on Instagram when you got your copies of the book and you were opening them and I was like that's a bit and when I see authors open their book and they see it for the first time it never gets old. It just never gets
yes.
old. It never
Yeah,
gets
so I
old.
got my
So
copy that actually was my copy to review, and I had to read it like 2 weeks ago. I read through it, and there were some errors, so I had to go back and fix those errors. That's why they sent it to me first. And now that it's fine, it's live on Amazon. So the people that ordered from me, my books are coming. People that ordered from Amazon, I think my sister said Amazon said hers should be here Saturday. So
good, 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 good. All right. So before I let you go, what's the biggest dream for yourself, Angela? Like when you lay your head down at night after you say your prayers and have that last glass of wine, like what do you imagine for your life and for yourself? For you, not you as in relation to anything else, but you for your own self.
I imagine myself. So my dreams would be to take care of my family by having a speaking and writing business, like to be an established author who gets paid like in advance to write books and doesn't have to self-publish, and who speaks on stages, who TED Talks or other things like that, conferences and things like that, and it makes a living doing that.
I like that. You just put it into the universe,
Yes.
right? Like that's how you manifest, right? You have to they say
Yes.
you write it down and then you speak it.
Speak.
Oh, yeah, because it's not a secret.
Right.
You want the world to know. And what does the Quello quote? Everything in the universe conspires to bring you what you want.
Yes, yes. And I just said that
That's my
yesterday to a
favorite.
friend. I gotta focus on what I want, not what I don't want. So put the what I do want is exactly what I said.
Yes, because I find people very clear about what they don't want, but people get very sort of sheepish about declaring what they do want. Like
Yes.
somehow or other, it's harder to sort of um, um, clarify what they want. You can rattle off 1,000 things of what you don't want, but the first 5 things of what you do want, it trips people up all the time.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I so appreciate you coming on this morning. I really do, and I wish you every success. And feel free to come back and talk more
Thank
about this book
you.
or your next book. I can't wait. And I'm going to put my order in for your book, and then I want you to come over here on the porch and sign it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I do appreciate it. And I just love you. I just love you. You're just a force. I won't say a force to be reckoned with. You're just a force. Always
you are kind to say. You are kind to say. Thank you. And I'm so proud of you. And you look beautiful. The book is beautiful. I love the photos that you have taken of yourself. So you look amazing. I mean, you look like a woman that is very happy and self-possessed. And I love seeing Black women stand in that space. So thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you, Babz. Thank you.
All right, enjoy your day. And Harry, she's gonna jump off. Harry's gonna jump back in, and I got like 15 minutes before I got to get off. And so thank you, Ann-Gella.
Great, thank you. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The book is I Know What I Want. I know. This is what I know by Ann-Gella Holloway, and it's ANN-GELA Holloway. So you can find her. That was good, Harry. We needed a dose of inspiration this morning.
Yeah, I was at the other workstation, looking up generators.
Harry, I don't know if I could get a. I don't know if we can. I don't know if I could get a generator.
My whole problem is it being electric.
Well, that's if the power goes out. But it's the generator, Harry, that you have to plug in, and it'll hold. So if the power goes out, it'll give you, I don't know, 48 hours worth of power or whatever. Because there are those too.
Right. That's what I'm. Oh, they're erecting the tree on the green again.
Oh, the same one or a new one?
A new one.
Oh, yay! Where did they say where this one came from, Harry?
I don't know.
Because that tree was a big one.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now because New Haven Independent is showing the video.
Oh, they're live.
Yeah, they're live.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to put a tree up because we need a little Christmas right this very minute.
Do we really need Christmas this year?
We do. We need Christmas, Harry. God knows we need Christmas.
Can we skip 2020 Christmas? Can we skip 2020?
No.
Can we?
We're almost done with 2020. If we was gonna skip it, we should have skipped it in January.
That didn't happen.
No, it happened, Harry.
Yeah, we had too many people suffered this year.
Well, tomorrow, Harry, Tim Cabral from Ordinary and Chef Ari are the guests tomorrow. They've got a pairing coming up, a vegetarian. One of these. You go and you pick up your food and you cook along with them. Those have been quite successful. So they're our guests tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Is Ordinary open?
Well, they were closed because they had a employee that had COVID.
Oh.
So yeah, so he could log in at 9:45. 9:45. Just log in 9:45.
9:45 is the guess?
Yeah, 9:45. They're gonna log in at 9:45 tomorrow. They're gonna hang out for a good 30 minutes, Harry. Laugh, joke, talk about what they're gonna serve. I'm gonna press them to be vegan.
Too much vegan going on.
Too much vegan. Harry, we cannot be eating all these animals. Animals want to live. Animal lives matter.
My niece is vegan now and she's pushing it. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. Meat tastes so good, but she's suddenly become so healthy, right? All her allergies are gone.
See?
It's all from getting rid of certain
See?
I know.
See? Right?
I'm like, I've lived like this for 50 years.
You can live another 50 years another way. Harry, just because you live this way 50 years doesn't mean you cannot change. This is what pivot means. And take a lesson from your niece. If so, she removed all those things. Imagine what you can remove.
I know, but I want to be 100 years old. I don't know.
Well, you know how you get to be 100 years old, Harry. You got to give up some stuff. You got to do a little better.
I know, but 100 is like, that might be overboard.
Well, there are people living to be 100, Harry. 100. You know what? I put a piece in the inner city. There's this woman, 107 years old, Harry. She went skydiving.
So you see, she was trying to end it.
No, she was like, "Listen, what I got to lose at 107? Something I always wanted to do. Well, now's as good a time as any."
She was like, well, if it's over, it's over. Here I go.
I mean, you know, they do it in tandem, Harry. So you got somebody with you, right? So if you die, you're not gonna die alone, right? Like you're gonna. Well, we all die alone. Even if somebody's with you, you're alone. Like your death is individually unique to you.
Yeah, but if something's happening, though, you save yourself, right? If you're the tandem guy, you're like, oh, I got an extra parachute, but I need to get rid of this.
Oh my God. Okay, parachute industry, send your letters to Harry Droz. DROZ, not to Babz.
The guy's like, my backup is under this person. Let me. Oh.
And then you're like in court, like, listen, I thought this was the best way to save us both, but clearly it wasn't.
It's like Poltergeist, right? The Eddie Murphy joke. Officer, I tried. I changed the channel. She wouldn't come out the TV. I tried.
Well, we got a full schedule ahead. So if people are around tonight, tune in to the Arts Council Award, 40 years. The theme is resiliency. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun. I don't know what I'll look like, but I'll be dazzling and sparkly and like very fab. And it'll be a fun night, a fun couple of hours on a Wednesday. And then tomorrow morning, Tim Cabral, Chef Ari, and they're going to talk about their upcoming events.
Your award or whatever it is, you get something?
No, the folks get something. Ife is an awardee. Ife, Amira Brown, Paul Hudson Bryan. It's about five folks, 5 or 6 people, and then Lifetime Achievement Award goes to a wonderful couple. So go to the Arts Council, look it up. It's right there on the page. It'll tell you all the good things. Wait, you know what? Let me pull it up real quick before we jump off. That way, people will know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. That tree looks a little smaller than the last.
Well, I'm sure they probably were like, listen, did they get the tree from around the way in New Hallville? Like, where did they get this tree from, Harry? That's what I want to know.
Right.
So the awardees are Amira Brown, Ife Gardine, Shonda Holloway, Paul Bryant Hudson, Tia Lynn Waters, and Liz and John Fisher are the Newt Skank, the 3rd award for Lifetime Achievement. So it's gonna be a wonderful night. So if you have opportunity to tune in, Harry. I think you'll enjoy it. The Arts Council.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking. So they get the awards, right? So they've probably received them already, and they
got their awards already.
Yeah.
They got their awards, and they were taped. So their acceptances were taped. So we're gonna run those, and some other cool stuff is gonna be happening too. Because we can't gather. Our idea was to do a big gala, a night gala this year. But COVID, pull the plug on a lot of events like that. So this is the next best thing, to do something cool virtually as best we can. So I'm excited.
Cool.
So I'm out. See you tomorrow. It'll be fun. I'll have lots to talk about that first few minutes of tomorrow, and it'll be good. It will be good.
Here we go.
Yes. So, yep. So Tim Cabral and Chef Avi tomorrow morning, 9:45.
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
Bye, Harry. Thanks.